Welcome everybody to Too Legit to Crit, a tabletop role-playing podcast made for people who make sure to know their character sheets properly and update them accordingly in between games.
That is a bold presumption. I'm just going to put it out there.
I'm just saying, the people that listen to us do that. They're good players.
Oh, yes, our listeners do. Yeah,
we don't.
Absolutely. No, we don't.
No, our listeners do because they're good players.
Do as we say, not as we do, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
No, I'm religious with my character sheet.
It depends for me. Sometimes I don't have access to the program. Like I don't have Hero Labs. Okay, I can't really update my sheet on that. For when I play Mutants and Masterminds, or Savage Worlds. But if it's just like Level Up or something like that, absolutely. I'm all over that character sheet, editing it, customizing it, notes upon notes. But I also have like pretty little notebooks per game. So
well, I think it's where I'm used to GMing when I actually do get to play. I need to fill the time with something.
Yeah.
Because when I'm GMing between sessions, I'm figuring out what's next. So it's kind of the same thing. I'm figuring out what's next with my character. I'm figuring out what I want to take on my level up. And, you know, I've theory crafted so much Fabula Ultima for my Fabula Ultima character encounters campaign.
Oh, yeah. I'm so excited to play that again. Also, by the way, we're both exhausted in case we seem low energy. We are happy. I just realized, like, I heard myself, like, I'm so excited to play that again. And I'm going, I really am.
Happy's a strong word.
It is a strong word. Well, we're happy to be here talking to get to you know.
Yeah, okay. No, I am. I am happy to be here chatting to you. Happy to be here chatting to our friends, as per usual. It's just been a long fucking day.
Yeah, it has been. It really has been.
It's going to be a long fucking week.
Gaming or real life? We're talking about work here.
Real life, you know. I'm a father of two. I'm work full time. I've got hobbies which take up a lot of time as well. And this week I'm doing a lot of overtime. So,
overtime will get you.
Overtime will get me. So I mean, I think I'll have the energy. I won't have the patience.
Oh, yep. That's fair. I get that. I get that 100%. So I'm exhausted for a combination. I'm in training, right? And then they just dropped on us today. Hey, your second evaluation's tomorrow. So I panicked like to the last 20 minutes of training. But I also GM'd for the first time last night since moving. So like in my head, I knew it was going to happen, but I hadn't actually like done I didn't put my stats together or anything. I'm going, oh, so I'm tired. I'm very tired.
I mean, gaming-wise, I only played one game last week. Couch's Fabula game was a really, really good session. It was a planning session. It was one of those sessions where we focused on what's coming up next, and we kind of focused on a bit of character development and a bit of world building. So it was good. It was really good. You know, just to kind of take a step back from the usual sort of always on the go.
Yeah.
So it was good to kind of, you know, just interact and play around with the world as opposed to, okay, what we doing next? Yeah. So that was good. My Thursday game fell through because of internet troubles.
Yep.
Yeah,
my internet it'll get you every time.
Wrapped out.
Oh, no. Internet.
Yeah, so it got to about, like, we were meant to start at 8:30. It got to about that time. I was like, yeah, it ain't gonna happen.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I had 2 games this weekend. One was a surprise. In the Alice Adventures server. It was fun. I was actually not doing an art stream because I had to get ready for Sunday's game. And Connell had previously asked me like a ways time ago, I was like, hey, if I sabotage like one of your streams, is that okay? I'm like, absolutely. I want people to sabotage as long as you give me a heads up, right?
Yeah.
It also was Sam's birthday Saturday. So it was like a 1-2 punch of like, surprise, let's play Mutants and Masterminds. So I also had the opportunity to just play and interact, not have to worry about like plots or backstory or what's going on. It was just throwing everybody who showed up for stream that day, throwing them in a game. And
that
it was
awesome.
It was amazing. It was amazing, John. That's probably like one of the most carefree, fun experiences I've had in a long time. And it was so just random. Like Sam was there. We missed you and Couch, Craig, Rob, and then Stefan showed up not knowing. He shows up and he goes, "Oh, is this happening right now?" I'm like, "Yeah, get Crash. And he's like, "Oh, okay."
So, I mean, I wish I could have been there. I was dadding this weekend, so
that's a good reason to not be at game, though.
It's a fantastic reason to not. And to be fair, as much as I love you guys, I know where I'd rather be.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
So yeah, we me and my boy had a good weekend.
Good.
So yeah, it was
good.
fun. But yeah, I'm glad you guys had fun.
Fantastic.
How did Sam get on with Mutants and Masterminds?
Oh my God, she's natural. Like
nice.
Like this is only her second like game. I think 3 total.
Right.
But she's played Covenant Crucible. Now she's played Mutants and Masterminds, and she messaged me on site. She's like, "This is so much fun." I'm like, "It is. Mutants and Masterminds is one of my favorite systems." She's a natural. She played a magical artificer archer basically. So she's like whipping out like arrows left, right, and sideways. And of course, we got to see Halo witness her superior leadership skills.
Not really. I mean, I think people would have come for, the main event and just got a cover band instead.
We'll see.
They came in and they went, "Oh, is that a liberal?" Oh, all right, fair enough.
I mean, nobody died.
It's the weird one who just mistrusts everybody.
She is not weird, nor does she mistrust everybody. Like,
it's just, it's the one that they had to put a kill switch in because she's so safe and good.
I mean, maybe she's just more powerful than you, and you're jealous.
It's not a jealousy thing, I'm trusted. You're not.
I don't know about that. You are in Tartarus, which is like a giant super villain jail. So there's something wrong with you.
Who trusts me?
No, that is not how this works.
Leader. They don't trust you. Hence, kill switch. I mean, come on, it's painfully obvious there.
No, like she's not even. She's not even. No. I'm not even gonna. No, but it was fun. It was a lot of fun. And then, like I said, I GM'd Sunday night, which was hilarious because you won't understand this because you're a guy. No offense, unless do you have eyeliner experience? I shouldn't say that.
Actually, yes.
Okay, so maybe you will. I take that back. I shouldn't gender bias eyeliner experiences.
Nope.
One of our players was like, "I have this really cute Halloween dress. I'm dressing up." I'm like, "Cool, I'll dress up with you." And then realized all my stuff is in boxes. So I managed to scrounge together like a black skirt and a black tank top. Like, okay, this counts. I'm going to do a little bit of eyeliner. I messed up. Yeah, I messed up. I'm going to make it bigger. I'm going to mess up. I'm going to make it bigger.
Gene Simmons, you look like Kiss.
Big old raccoon eyes. And it worked though, because I play this I have this super angsty half-orc teenage NPC that as I'm acting her out, Connolly made a comment. He goes, "This is too believable." The angsty edgelord thing. I'm like, yeah. But I talked about it Saturday in my stream. I don't know if I talked to you about it yet, but our one of our players had Nat 1 weeks ago. Our Paladin of Vengeance Nat 1 the burial rites to a giant mass burial village situation that were all killed by spiders. So when they came back this way after several weeks, the villagers have resurrected to get their vengeance. And everyone's face when they realized that it was like, "Oh no, we did this." Well, technically he did, but still. So the big reveal was last night, and it went over really well, and it was a lot of fun. But we ended in mid-combat, so.
Yeah, I mean, I hated ending in mid-combat. It's one of my pet peeves.
It's becoming my trademark.
To be honest, I think it's because it's bound to happen in certain systems. It is bound to happen.
I don't mind it as long as thematically it's good. Does that make sense? If I'm explaining a combat, so for example, I was explaining the scene where the player responsible looked up and realized, like, recognized the face of one of these spider creatures, like spider zombie-esque creatures, was a villager that he had buried. And in that moment, like, oh my God, and like end game. Like, that's where we end.
Yeah, you like ended it on a cliff.
Yeah, like it's not just like, oh, you stab him, game over. Like, yeah, make it good.
No, I mean, to be honest, this kind of goes back to my now dislike of certain systems where combat is a third of the entire game.
Yeah.
And it's a third of the entire game that doesn't have the same amount of impact on the narrative. So, you know, it's Pathfinder.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I used to plan an hour per combat for Pathfinder, and even then sometimes it wasn't enough.
No, they had only been in combat for like 30 minutes to an hour. The whole game was actually everything but combat, and they just happened to come back towards the end of the game. So, like, I could say it's their fault, but honestly, I wanted it that way.
It kind of falls into that umbrella of games that I would much rather not run anymore.
Yeah, and that's I think that's important to know what games you do and don't want to play or run. Like, and that's what's funny about like GMing versus playing. I could give you a whole list of games I never want to GM, but I love playing in. Like, yeah.
I don't know if I could. I mean, no,
Yeah,
I mean,
thought about it?
I'll not really. I mean, I'll GM pretty much anything, you know, and I'll play pretty much anything as well.
I don't think there are certain games that I don't think I could sell well as a GM. Like, we kind of touched base on this. Like, I love sci-fi. I don't think I could run a good sci-fi game. I love fantasy, but I can definitely run a good fantasy game. So that's kind of where I'm like, oh. But yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't think that's necessarily systems that as opposed to genres, though.
That's fair. And actually, Connell just said like a lot of D20 games or grid-based games eat time. And that's like, that's so true on a bunch of different, because like, I think that as soon as you have to start worrying about like how many feet out you are, like, oh, well, can I do this? Is it how much, like, it does take the calculations out of, or it puts calculations into combat, where I prefer combat of like, am I 60 feet from him? Yeah, let's go. Like, you know,
I mean, I think the players in my Kingmaker campaign are really enjoying it.
Oh, good.
Because when we start combat, it's like, oh, I'm, you know, this has only got like 25-foot range, and I'm just like, couldn't give a fuck. Do it.
Right? Exactly.
You're 30 foot out. I can't give a shit. Have 5 foot on me. Just hurry the fuck up.
That was like the surprise game on Saturday. Sam, I threw one of my chakrams on Sam, and she basically has flying ability with this like magic bow and arrow set. And she's like, can I reach this? And we're like, don't even ask. You are a magical archer. You can reach whatever the hell you want to reach.
I mean, like Pathfinder is salvageable when you're doing it like your own game.
Yeah.
It becomes far less salvageable when you're playing Society, because there you have to stick to every single fucking rule. And it's like, oh, okay, so yeah, you've got this cool thing you want to do, but it's got a 25-foot limit and you're 30 foot out. Ah, you shit out of luck.
I think that also okay, some systems you can't get away with it, obviously. But I also feel like some systems, it really depends on the GM, because I have played D&D games that were so rule-based, grid-based. You have to follow that I was miserable. Whereas then I played some other ones that were a little bit more, say, creative. And I loved it. It was a great game. So I mean, give and take.
For my latest iteration of Pathfinder, it's not me being generous. It's me not giving a fuck.
Yeah, no, I get that.
It's me not caring. It's me kind of going, you 4 actions instead? Yeah, you knock yourself out. Couldn't give a fuck. Let's move this along. I've got time to kill here.
I'm going to sound like a broken record, but as always, it's about having fun. It's a game. Have some fucking fun. If you can't have fun playing a game, you're not playing a game at that point. You know?
That is true. So... Yeah. You know, in terms of having fun for this week, I've got Blades in the Dark coming on Wednesday.
Okay.
We're taking a bit of a hiatus on Delta Green as I can't get the whole party together. So getting back into Blades in the Dark. And I like I said to you last week, I'd forgotten how much I love that fucking system.
Oh, good. Well, not that you forgot, but that you remember.
Yeah, it's
that comes with old age, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's fine.
And then back to, I don't know if I'm playing Pathfinder this week or not. Can't give a fuck. And then you guys have got Fabula on Sunday, I believe.
Is that the Sunday?
I believe so. Sunday the 1st.
I got my trusty, dusty calendar over here.
Yeah, you guys have got Fabula.
Yes, we do.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, we do. And I think are we adding characters to that game?
I have no idea.
You have no idea? I have no idea.
I have no idea. It's not my baby. I'm pressing record. I'm going like that.
It's Couch in the chat. It's Couch's baby. Couch, you're in charge on Sunday. You ready for that?
I just push the button and go. No, I am working with Couch on a world map for you guys.
Oh,
so I am contributing, as it were.
That's cool. That's really cool.
So hopefully we've got it. Hopefully I'll get at least the frame done, because a lot of Fabula is your input. So I think we've got the bare bones world map, and then you guys will be adding to it as you go, and I will be updating it as you go as well.
That'd be cool. That'd be really cool. I love maps. As a matter of fact, the campaign I'm running right now, the Valley of Kings, was legit born out of, I did that dice trend where you get like a whole bunch of paper and you dump the dice and where the dice land.
I like that.
And I did it for fun as a TikTok trend. And then when I looked at the map, it hit me, this entire story. And I'm like, oh my God. And before I'd never GM'd before I was writing this campaign. And I love it. I love it so much. The map has obviously evolved with my map making skills. I'm like, oh, that makes no sense. We're going to change that. But
no, yeah, I mean, because I've got, how did I buy? I bought Journey, which is like a solo RPG map making, or world building game. I still need to run that. I still need to go through that, because I do have a couple of worlds that I want to build.
Yeah.
And yeah, Journey would be fantastic for that. And another one is the Quiet Year, which I've always wanted to run, which would be, it's another way of drawing the map.
Yeah.
So you kind of draw this. That's more of a collaborative medium.
What I want to do is I want to take people's faces and put paint on their face and just bam right on the paper, and then their faces are continents.
And depending on who it is that you hit them harder. Yes.
You know what's up.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fine. Absolutely.
I had a fair few candidates this week.
Oh no, we're not hitting people in real life. That's what role playing is for. Okay.
I want to role play punching them in the face.
I mean,
I would have LARP punching them in the face.
To be fair, that kind of segues into something that I was going to talk about regarding threads. But like,
oddly enough, my thing was threads as well.
But
anyway, we'll go into that positivity and all that.
Yeah.
People have been blocked. That's just
social media is one of those things where like it can be such a good thing or such a bad thing. But I am so grateful for it, because without it, I wouldn't be gaming, to be completely honest. Like,
I mean, let's just say some people can be very thankful that I am on these platforms representing a brand and just kind of not representing myself.
Oh,
because I have to be a bit more diplomatic and a bit more, Whereas if it was just me, I'd be like, right.
I feel like I don't know if I trust that. All right, fine. Be that way.
But that's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah. No, I get that.
But speaking of threads, we actually went out into threads, you and I, this week, didn't we?
Yeah.
We kind of put word out into the universe and got some responses back.
Yeah.
And I tell you what, there are a couple of them quite good talking points, I think.
There's a lot of good things happening in the gaming community on threads. Like, there's a lot of good games happening. There's a lot of good stories happening. And my favorite ones are the ones you don't hear about. Like yes. You don't, there's people like advertising their stuff, and that's great. You advertise the hell out of it and you make profit. But like every now and then I'll have a username pop across I've never seen before that'll drop a comment, and it's like, that's amazing. That's an amazing story. Where did you come from? Like,
yeah. So, I mean, what do you tell us about a couple of these stories? What do you?
Well, hang on, you're gonna make me pull things up. So it was actually
It's always good to. I like how prepared you are.
right. I'm so prepared. But no, I had talked about, like, we always talk about hard moments in games, like, oh, gut wrenching moments, and everything's that. And it hit me the other day. No one ever talks about their happy moments like that, like heartwarming, like, oh, you know. And there's a couple of them, like, I believe it was Rob that mentioned that two of the characters kind of just like reunited, and it was like watching people talk about their childhood again, and just like the warm fuzzy feelings that come with that. But one of my favorite ones was actually from RJ Wickings 86, because I had asked, what are your happiest gaming moments of something you did or for someone in your party? And one, he said, favorite RP memories of GM when the big bad was following the party around. The party hated this man simply because of how he behaved and presented himself. And it was nice to get that reaction. And I totally get that. Like, I've been in a game where like a bad NPC came around and the whole party just like physically, very verbally reacts when they realize that NPC's there. And it's such a great feeling. Yes, as a player, like I wasn't even the GM in that situation. But the second one is my favorite by far, and I'll explain why. Because quite recently, we found a group of cultists and swayed them to join us. Our Dragonborn Paladin immediately positioned himself as the new cult leader. It was so quick and unexpected. It was brilliant. As a GM, I love it when my players catch me off guard. I'm not one to be like, oh, well, that's not how I expect you to handle it. My players will do something, and I'm like, right. Okay. Yeah. And I like, I love it when players feel confident enough and comfortable enough in their own character and in the game that you've presented for them and in the situation that they just react. And it's not an out of character, like, oh, haha, it'd be funny if I do this. In character, they just snap reaction. I live for those moments. I love them so much. They're so good.
That is probably the beauty of this type of gaming as opposed to others, where you can technically break the narrative. Yeah. You know, absolutely. And my players have done it to me over the years, and to the point where I've kind of gone, right, okay, we need to stop the session. Yeah. We have to, because right now what you're doing is not something I'm prepared for. I love it and I'm on board with it, but you need to give me time to catch up to you. Yes. You know, so even if we cut the session an hour early, it's like, yeah, okay, guys, fucking great. But I just need this week to kind of change or to kind of pivot, as it were, to kind of accommodate what you want to do.
Or in the words of Rachel in chat right now, players do the thing. Sure, cool. Throws away the plan and creates a new one. Yeah, absolutely. Like
never throw that. Never throw away the plan.
I've done it before. I've absolutely done it before. It's not my preferred go-to move, but like there have been times where, and not in this campaign, but an older game I ran, where the players like caught me so off guard that it made the story so much better that I was like, yeah, we're going that direction. Forget that.
But even then, I will never throw away the plan.
Really?
I will man. I will take what I had planned and I will file off the serial number and I will use it further down the line.
Oh, okay. That's...
You know, the primate, like the easiest example was my players were traveling through the River Kingdoms and I had a city planned. And in this city, basically the whole premise was it was a city that had a lot of adventurers visiting it. And there was one particular member of the city that what they would do is put out these false quests with these really important rewards and would send adventurers to their deaths in order to loot them.
Okay.
So, yeah, it'd be like, oh, okay, like, Kitty's going missing, whatever, down in the sewers. And in the sewers, they'd find the adventurers would go down, they'd get attacked by whatever the fuck was down there, they'd die, then he'd come along and kind of go... So that was the whole premise, and it was getting to the bottom of that and whatnot. But my players walked past it.
Really?
I said, oh, here's this city here. And they just went, no, we don't want to camp. We're just going to camp out and we're going to move on. So, okay, fair enough. I got that city and they did it 3 or 4 levels later.
Yeah. And I think you and I have talked about this, about the difference between like, I hate using hot terms from the gaming community, but it's the best way I can present it. Quote unquote sandbox games and what people call railroad games. And you and I have talked about how like you and I prefer like the healthy blend. Like, yes, there is a story, but we're not gonna like, oh look, there's a door. We're gonna go check out the hallway. No, you have to go through the door. It's like, come on, y'all.
No, there is an objective.
Yeah.
There is a goal. How you get to that goal is entirely up to you.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And
I mean,
because I can scale things and I can move things and I can move the goalposts, you know, you guys go this way. Okay, I'm going to move this slightly further back. But you are going to, this is where you're going to be eventually. However you get by that, it's the illusion of choice, as it were.
Yeah. See, and I'm not even sure if I'm that concrete because actually, Connell explained it in the best way possible the other day. I don't know if you're familiar with MMOs, but if you look at the map, there's like the big campaign quest, but then there's all these little side quests, right?
Mm-hmm.
And whatever order you decide to do that in is totally up to you, but the storyline is still happening. And that's kind of how I run my games, is that like the storyline is still happening. Sure. Sorry, fire alarm. I live in a very tiny village where everything is volunteer. But like, it's up to you what path you take. And while yes, this storyline is still happening, I can't even say necessarily that my players have an end game that will stay the same no matter what.
Oh, I've got an end game. I did a thing in my homebrew campaign, and it was a set piece where I'd talk about this set piece, and it would be all these sort of encounters and all these sort of meetings that the players had during the course of their 20 levels of adventures. All these people they met, they would rise up and they would help in the fight. And I did this wonderful 2.5, 3 minute long set piece. Barring a couple of things that I added, I had that written roughly around session 1. To the point of this is where they're going to get. Whatever direction that takes, well, it is, you know.
And that's like, there's a conflict. That conflict will not go away no matter what the players do, but that conflict might look completely different depending. He actually just briefly mentioned it in chat. Like, I had a conflict that my players talked their way out of. I don't know how the fuck they did it, but they did it. Like, I mean, someone did die. Like, there was a death, but I mean, not player, an NPC. Aww. Yeah, I know.
Deaths are fun.
I am so annoyed because I come up with these really cool monsters and these really cool stats and this really, really great world. And then one of my players just comes in and barrels through all of them. Like, he is so OP and not even on purpose. He's never played the system before. He doesn't know what he's doing. It's just built that race, that everything is just built so good that it's like, I told him, like, I have to come up with harder like enemies, and the rest of the party were like, no, don't do that. I'm like, no, I'm gonna do it. Like, someone's gonna die except for him, and then he's gonna feel guilty because it's his fault.
That's the problem with Ivory Tower systems, I'm afraid. So going back to threads,
yes.
you put that out about a thing. What I put out was I basically asked how everybody's tabletop role-playing game week was going, if anything fun, exciting, scary, and sad happened. And I got a few responses were fucking awesome.
Yeah, let's hear them.
All right, okay, so first one is a friend of the show, Connell. So maybe you can help with this. Whereas on Sunday, the crew is the Unstoppable 3, managed to survive the attack from the alien tadpoles, only to later deduce that they may have been targeted to the amount of physically active members they have, which is a problem now that they're in the woods. They've been stalked by whatever the next stage in the tadpole's life cycle is.
Yeah. I feel like, for the viewers who don't know, I GM for a game Connell's in. Connell GMs for a game I'm in. I feel like we are playing this tug of war of who can piss off the other person with the monsters better than the other. Because I did this like spider thing and he hated me for it. And then he did this like, he's saying tadpoles. They're more like little leeches, like like forearm length leeches. Okay. Like big leeches technically.
Yeah.
But I also think Langoliers, but that's beside the point. And we fought them off. Everything was fine. We go into these woods to like journey and quest and whatever. And basically, like, we found tracks of these tadpole leech things on the ground that formed a foot.
Okay.
A foot, like a footprint. So basically what we as players are getting is that these things have come together to create a humanoid form, but then like we noticed that somehow it was up in the trees. So the game left off with, we're in the woods with these like horrible leech monster things, and we don't know if they can they fly, can they jump, like what is going on? And
nice.
it's creepy as hell. So I got back at him for that with my zombie spider people.
Fair enough. Another one was a shopping session with a self-care healing hot springs session. It's okay for parties to relax and heal before the next danger. And that was submitted by Crest Saga. I do like a downtime. I'd like a downtime session.
I like a downtime session done well.
Yeah. I think it is good to take a step back, because as a GM, I love it because it gives me the opportunity to improvise. You know, this is an NPC, and I'll just create an NPC off the fly, and you know, we'll just see what happens. I do like.
Have you ever? This has nothing to do with threads, but have you ever created an NPC that was supposed to be a throwaway and ended up being like a key component to the game?
I wouldn't say a key component. But I have had NPCs that I've just had to bring back because I had so much fun. There was one in a game that I was running for Couch. And me and Couch, it was Couch. We love Couch. Couch, by the way, it's great. With me GMing. And Couch and I just went into this back and forth between his character and this NPC. And it was so fucking funny that I just had to bring the NPC back. I've only done it. I personally have done it once where like I made an NPC. It's like, it's fine. And now it became a big ordeal. But I also do this thing where I do Easter egg characters. I have an NPC. Okay, yeah. I have an Easter egg. I have an NPC that literally is in every single campaign, and people don't. If they've gamed with me long enough, they realize it. If they haven't, they don't pick up on it. But like that NPC, while the same, there'll be a variation of the name or a variation of like what they do. It won't be exactly the same, but it'll be similar enough that if you know what to look for, you're like, oh, there they are. So, in that vein, I'll always have an NPC which is an avatar of me. In the game, because it is how I would react to certain things and how I would react to people. So basically, it's just me being as sarcastic as humanly possible. And those NPCs are always a hit. Everybody loves them for some reason. I wonder why. We love a good sarcasm. We do. So give me more. What else does people say? So did the GM taking the week off because he's helping his girlfriend move one of her daughters to college in LA and then has plans to propose on the beach a Friday at sunset count as scary? He's scared, so it should. That is terrifying, but so awesome. Congratulations. That's awesome. I hope it went well. If not, I'm so sorry. Yeah. You have our support, our love, or our condolences either way. All right. The next one, I've got my cleric failed a whiz save drinking from a stream in the Feywild, and I played her as being stoned for the rest of the session. Yeah. And then over on Mastodon, that previous one was by Stephen Paul. Okay. And over on Mastodon, I got last session we instigated the current chair to call for early board elections. This week we'll hopefully see him ousted from the board completely and replaced with our preferred reform candidate, negating the need for a more hostile corporate takeover. Oh man. Holy fuck, that's political. Oh, that's I love me a political game. I just don't never really done it. I love them so much, but I don't sit at a table that does them very well unless, not that the players don't do it well. They don't really care. Unless there's a heavy fantasy implement into it. But yeah, I try to stay away from politics in my games and it always ends up showing up anyways. Like I can't, it's not boring politics, but I mean, my game is literally called Valley of the Kings.
Like,
I mean, I do have politics in my games, but I don't lean on them heavily.
okay.
Because especially like in the games that I have run, the homebrews, mostly it's been fantasy and fighting monsters and this, that, and the other. And the characters weren't necessarily equipped to be dealing with those things.
Yeah.
Although I did basically create a whole bunch of NPCs based on the West Wing.
Oh, shit. Okay.
Because one of the characters is an
You
was
watched
an
The
envoy.
West Wing?
I love the West Wing.
Why? That seems like such a. Why would you? I guess we watched Downton Abbey. Okay, never mind. I was like, why would you? Never mind. Okay.
I'm sorry, did you just say Downtown Abbey?
Is that what it's called?
Downton. Not downtown.
Downtown. It's downtown. When you spell it out, it says downtown. This is like the house mouse thing. Like, okay, or the monkey donkey, or donkey monkey, whatever. Like, English
Downtown
sucks.
Abbey, yo.
That's what you say. You go downtown. We say Downton? Like, what is it?
Downton Abbey.
Listen,
Downtown
Sam says
Abbey.
it's not the same. Sam says it's not the same. Oh, she's talking about me or she's talking about the word. I don't know. I'm going to say she's on my side, though. Downton. Okay, here's the thing, though.
Sorry.
This brings us back around to we need one more $3 a month subscriber on our Ko-Fi for an episode where we switch accents the whole time.
All right, I'm gonna actually add a thing here. This is the last week of this.
Oh.
No, I'm putting a time limit on this.
No. Let's say...
No, let's say if by this time next week it hasn't happened, it ain't happening. You'll have to come up with something else.
Worcestershire.
Worcester.
What?
Worcester.
You're missing like 12 letters.
Worcester and Worcestershire. Not Worcestershire.
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 Where did all the other like letters in your word go?
I don't know how the etymology works.
Listen.
How it works.
Y'all say herb because the H is at the beginning of it. Okay, thank you, Eddie. But the point is, there's so many letters in that word. Worcestershire.
Okay, so $3 a month, and we're gonna get Atlas to say Worcestershire
in a British accent.
I will teach her how to say Worcester. I will teach her how to say a few things in English.
So it's Downton and Worcester. Y'all just stop pronouncing the rest of the words.
Downton. Oh, don't get me started on that. I'm a northerner. We don't pronounce half the words that we say.
Okay, well.
But yeah, the last week of this.
All right.
If we don't get another subscriber by this time last week,
I'm gonna make an addendum. Okay. Shut your face and listen.
All right.
This doesn't actually air till Thursday morning, correct? A week from Thursday morning, because you got to give our viewers a chance to see this.
I don't know. I think, yeah, go on then. I'll give you.
Okay.
I'll give you a technicality because I'm fucking generous.
Is that why? Not because I'm right and you don't want to admit you're wrong.
No, I'm generous. I'm a generous person.
Oh, okay.
Victory sip.
I think I'm out of victory juice. Like, I don't even think.
Oh, I've got victory juice in space. Don't get me started on my victory juice.
Okay, anyways.
So victory juice is going to be a clip.
Yep.
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 All right, so what else did we talk to our friends on social media about?
I asked another one. You got like a whole bunch of, like, I didn't take all my responses because I feel like all my responses were lengthy paragraphs, right? Because I asked lengthy questions, I guess. Okay, we talk all the time about how we put ourselves in our NPCs. We put ourselves in our characters.
Yeah.
I wanted to know how many people try and personify aspects of their characters. Other way around. There goes the fire truck. Other way around.
So basically, how many people create aspects of themselves within their characters, do you mean?
No, like how many people in regular day life try to personify something from their characters?
Oh,
like,
interesting. Okay.
Yes.
Right.
Hang on, Rachel just noticed the victory juice, so have to welcome her back on that one. No, so I asked personifying characters from our games, right? And actually, Hima's response in here is Chainsaw Flower Child, which, by the way, best username ever. Like, I freaking love that username.
Love the name.
I normally play characters that are broken and trying to get better. I don't want to be that broken again in real life. So of my 4 characters, I'm currently playing 3 are working for trauma. So that just leaves one to pick from, which I totally resonate with that. All of my characters, I have happy backgrounds, and then somehow their backgrounds get destroyed and end up traumatized. And I'll get to that in a second. But Ripley's a Kender, and I would love to have the fearless, inquisitive, and positive attitude that he has. Kender don't understand fear, so it never factors into their decision process. Without fear, there would be a lot less stress and virtually no anxiety. I feel you on that. Like, some of my favorite characters are the ones that don't think. They have the fearless attribute, so they just, they do it. They do it. It's like we talked about before. You know, people will be talking around a table. Should we do this? Should we do this? Well, I don't know. What if we do this? And my character has literally in the past month just stood up and went over and did the thing. And people are going, oh, hey, I'm fearless. Like, there's, it's such a good feel. It's such a good feeling. So I get that. Because in my superheroes, there are superheroes I would love to be like my characters. And I'm like, I want to be like that character, but at the same time, I'm like, you got trauma.
I do agree, because I very much want to be a liberator. So.
John, no. No. There's something fundamentally wrong with you that you want to be liberator.
There's nothing wrong with Liberator. He's a true hero, so... Just because Halo doesn't understand him, that's Halo's problem.
Stop it. I think we just got our 3rd prescription.
Fuck.
I'm going to have to check that. I'm going to have to check that later. Sorry. I got a little ding. I'm like, oh my God. Anyways, could be wrong. Could be very wrong. I may have seen the wrong thing. But no, I have done that. People are like, oh, I work out so I can do things my characters do. And I've actually flipped that around. Sometimes I'll be in a really stressful situation.
Fuck you, couch.
Woo! Thank you, couch.
Yeah, thank you, but fuck you.
We love a good couch.
So is it a subscription or a one-time? I think he's gone and fucking done it.
Yeah, I think he's done it. I think he's gone and done it. Is this an appropriate time to like blast letters across the screen and go, "You've been couched"? Is that like a thing?
If I had that set up, I would. But by the time I've got it set up, the joke will be fucking over.
That's true.
Let me double check. So, while we're on the topic of our like coffee and our subscription, I have decided we're gonna kind of sweeten the deal a tiny bit.
Oh, yeah, tell them what we got.
So, what I'm gonna do, one of the things I'm wanting to do is everybody who is subscribing that are $3 and up tier. All these maps that I've been creating, that I've been designing for my previous games, and all the maps that I'm going to design, because even though I'm not necessarily going to use them, I still want to practice and I still want to create.
Yes.
I'm going to start giving them to our subscribers.
Love it. Okay.
Free of charge.
Our coffee subscribers, not our YouTube subscribers, right?
Yeah, our coffee subscribers.
Making sure that difference was made.
Our $3 and up subscribers, you guys are gonna get them for free. They're not great, they're not fantastic, but they're serviceable. You'll be able to use them. I've used them, I used them in a game. You'll be able to use them in a game.
Absolutely.
And I'm happy to kind of donate them to the cause. And the other thing that we talked about is in the Traveler's Chalice, from time to time, when there's a few of us on, I've got 500 plus fucking games.
Yes, you do. You have a PDF problem.
Yeah, and a lot of them are like these one-page RPGs that I want to start playing. So that we're going to start doing that in the Traveler's Chalice as well. We're going to start breaking out these one-page RPGs.
Yep.
I already know which one we're going to start with, and it's a big shout out to our friend Andrea, because I've wanted to play this for ages. It's a quick game, and it's going to be Dumb Squad.
Yes.
So that we're going to start playing that. Again, we've got no actual time frame, but it'll be a case of, right, there's 5 of us on. Fuck it. Let's break out Dumb Squad.
Absolutely.
Let's play it. Let's try it. Let's see what we think.
Yep.
You know,
And honestly,
so that is going to happen in the
surprise
Traveler's
games are the
Chalice.
kind of the best. I've come to find out. Like,
no, I do enjoy a good surprise game.
I can't get over how great Saturday was. I love that. So that's a good thing to add to our subscribers, our Ko-Fi supporters. Let's put it that way. Yeah, it's good.
So yeah, those are things with, you know, those are going to be available at the current subscription.
Yep.
I just want to, you know, it's kind of my way of saying thank you.
Love that. Love that. So I'm not that cool. I have nothing to donate, but I donate my awesome personality to the Traveler's Chalice.
You donate
absolutely inappropriately timed jokes. The Traveler's Chalice is completely unfiltered. So
yeah, my jokes are appropriately timed. They're just in very poor fucking taste.
I mean, I think again that's just an age thing. It's okay.
I mean, my timing is spot on. It's just that timing maybe. We may be talking about certain things, and yeah. But yeah, if you ever want to experience what I'm like without a filter, the Traveler's Chalice is the place to be.
Yeah, it's entertaining to say the least. To say the least, we need more girls in there.
So now I'm going to work on a fucking American accent.
Yeah, you do, because next episode.
Is it next episode? We don't know.
Unless you want more time to prep. Do you need more time to prep?
I don't know. I'm going to let you know when we get closer to next episode.
Oh, okay.
Bear in mind, I am doing like 27 hours overtime this week.
That's true. Maybe we should give a little bit of buffer time. We'll pick a date. We'll pick a date. We'll make a big announcement. I'll make graphics for it. It'll be great. And I should actually have the graphics for our pledge awards and potentially our giveaways by then too. So maybe it'll be a big thing. So
yeah, I need to. The thing is, it's not about doing the American accent. It's about doing the American accent and sticking to it. That's where I'm going to struggle, because I will be able to start, and then I'm going to go on a journey across the US.
Sam actually has a really good point. Do a Southern one first. It's actually just a slowed down British accent.
I'm gonna have to kind of off air try that out and just see if that theory holds up.
What's gonna happen is
I'm not gonna do it on air. No.
Oh no. I'm just saying, like, you're gonna do what me and Connell do is we talk around the house in accents trying to nail something. Like, that sounded horrible.
You talk around the house.
Yeah, we talk at the house. Hi, door. No. Ho, door.
One person on one side of the house, the other person on the other, and you just hello. We're talking around the house because
that's okay. I'll be
that's something people say now.
Yeah, sure. But I'll be with you. I'll be talking, like, you guys are gonna be like, that's this side of England and that's that side of England. I'm gonna be like, it's British. That's the best I can do, guys.
All right. Yeah, luckily we're fucking doing this when we've got a limited amount of viewership. If we did it about so now it's harder to cancel us.
Oh man, this is gonna be good. This is gonna be good. This is gonna be good. Viewers, watch out. There's gonna be stuff coming with that. It'll be good. But
before we carry on, I do want to give a big shout out to some friends of ours. First of all, I want to give a huge thank you to 13th Moon Games. It is a family-run indie game company out of Wyoming, USA, that created the tabletop role-playing game Covenant Crucible. It's a game of modern-day witchcraft. If you can imagine the John Wick movies and the last Witch Hunter movie got together and had a really pretty baby, Covenant Crucible would be it. If you want to learn more or interested in joining the official Discord game, check them out on Instagram.
Give a one-sentence explanation of your character from that game. I'm interrupting.
He is a confidence trickster who likes chaos.
Okay, and I am Baron Wood. Continue.
All right. Next, new partners this week. So step into a universe where fandoms collide. Welcome to Crossing the Nerdverse, your ultimate portal to all things geeky and glorious. Whether you're into comics, gaming, or sci-fi, we've got you covered. Discovered in exclusive interviews, epic debates, and insider tips from your favorite creators. Join the adventure at crossingthenerdverse.com and unleash your inner nerd. Embrace the passion, celebrate the culture. Crossing the Nerdverse, where every fan finds their place.
They're great.
I love Crossing the Nerdverse. They are great friends of ours. We've done Critting the Nerdverse, which is our crossover Blades in the Dark campaign, which we do need to arrange a date for that coming up.
Yep.
But yeah, a great bunch of fucking people, and check out their show. It is informative. It's funny. It is a really good time. And lastly, check out our merch store where you can find t-shirts, hoodies, desk mats, and other items, either with our logo or our supernatural inspired waffle on design, or our Moves Like Atlas design, which has just been modeled for you live.
Which I would have gotten up and danced, but I don't know where the camera like angles. But yeah, and it's freezing in here, so I have my hoodie on.
So if you want to support us more directly, you can head to our Ko-fi page and make a one-time donation, or subscribe to our $3 a month tier, which will give you exclusive Discord access and mention our credits, or like we just mentioned, maps and access to some games that we're going to be playing.
Yep.
And always the best way to support us is by hitting that subscribe button and telling your friends about us.
Also, tell us what you want. People that are interested in subscribing, they're like, oh yeah, but that's early for me. What do you want? Well, we'll sweeten the deal. We'll throw some character sheets in there. I don't know.
OnlyFans.
That's a subscription. No, that's a subscription reward tier. I've got plans for that.
And an OnlyFans.
Access to access to couch 24/7. That's the highest membership reward right there. Just on dial. He just volunteered.
Fair.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, so kind of like going back to what you were saying about personifying your characters. I mean, I did make a joke of kind of going, I'd like to be Liberator. But I do think that there are moments and there are sort of character traits that we portray. And not only do we put in some of ourselves into these characters, I think a lot of times we do things as characters, or we create these characters as sort of wish fulfillment.
Yes. Yep.
Like my first ever character, Nahash, it was basically if we got rid of every single one of my filters, what would that look like? And I had so much fun.
Yeah. I a lot of my characters have trauma. I don't design them that way. They get traumatized. But I do some, like you say, I put some of myself into those characters. It's wish fulfillment. I think that there's a part of me that like plays my characters in a way that I wish I had had a chance to like react to things. Who doesn't want to smash something with a battle axe when they're angry, you know? Or for example, there's a bunch of yes, if there's people like Sam where if they act like their character, they're going to go to jail. But like, no, for me,
that's a valid addition. That is,
it absolutely is, and she's right. And that's my thing is like, I try to take. I don't want to say games or therapy sessions, but there are moments in games where, as a character, I am forced to face a situation that I haven't in real life. But then what's really cool is when it comes full circle, because I'll be in a situation where I'll want to react really. I'm like, no, I've learned better from gaming. Go figure.
But I mean, they are. I mean, they're not therapy sessions, but they are therapeutic.
Yes, absolutely.
And you are playing, and pardon the pun, you are playing in a sandbox.
Yes.
So you are experiencing things as these characters that you don't necessarily experience in real life, and you're having to solve problems that you in your day-to-day do not have to solve.
Yeah.
So it does help with critical thinking, and it does help with analyzing parts of yourself that you have not had the opportunity to gain access to. And to be honest, if you're talking about your average D&D party, that's probably a psychopathic side of yourself, because most D&D parties are murder hobos.
Yeah, no, they are. I had such a really, I got to call out my player in a good way, because he started playing the super angsty edgelord, oh my God, player, like where I'm going, how the hell am I going to deal with this player or character in game, right? And I don't know if he meant to do it on purpose or not, but he has turned that character into such a amazing character growth story that I'm going, okay, this is either on purpose and he's doing some super tricky, awesome storytelling, or it's purely accidental. and it proves the point of like getting to navigate personality like growth in game. I love it. It's so good.
It could be a combination of both.
Could be.
Because, you know, it could be a case of, okay, this is the starting point for my character.
Yeah.
And then I am going to alter the character's personality
right
based on what happens in story. Like my character in Couch's game.
Mm-hmm.
Very much a paladin, very much a worshipper of this religion, but through the story that Couch has presented, it's turned out that the entity that he worshipped kind of went against what he was worshipping. So there was a dissonance between the entity and the principles that he wanted to live up to. And ultimately he made a choice of kind of going, I'm going to uphold these principles, but fuck you.
Yeah, love that.
And that has just been something organic, where Couch has presented us with this narrative. And I've seen that, knowing that my character did need to progress, but I didn't exactly know in which direction that was going to go until that happened. And it's like, okay, so, you know, and it was one of the evil characters that presented me with this information. It's like, okay, so you've now removed my restrictions, and you may not be happy you did that.
Yeah. I actually slightly similar superhero character, Beacon, where she was a heritage legacy hero. So like she had an entire family line of superheroing she had to uphold to. She had the same name, same costume, everything. And very long story short, she was faced by an intergalactic council that was like, okay, pay for the crimes that your ancestors have done, basically. And she's like, but I didn't do them. And she turned in her father. And basically, like, he's in catatonic coma state, and she still turned him into the council, and then changed her entire persona, took the mask off, made sure everybody knew who she was. And it was this moment of like, all right, I'm going to still do what I did, but fuck you and fuck what you made me, basically. And I was like, yes. I'm not saying yes, like I didn't play her, but yeah.
I mean, character growth is a great thing. And it's also, you know, especially in systems like D&D where you have a character concept, but that is not what you start with.
Oh, yeah.
So a lot of times you'll kind of go, this is what I want to make, but I'm starting at level 1. I need to build towards that. I mean, I'm not a massive fan of that sort of approach. I would much rather kind of go, this is the prototype character that I have. And then I'm going to let the story inform my decisions going forward.
I want to try something, and it could be an absolute disaster. Okay. I want to do the opposite of that. I just experienced a story in an MMO that I had me headphones, controller, sobbing, like uncontrollably hormonal sobbing at this amazing storyline. And it dawned on me, and I'm like, you know, I kind of want to try this where I throw the characters into the peak of their time and do the opposite. Instead of a story of them becoming what they are, have a story of them kind of deteriorating. And and kind of do the reverse. And
so let's say you start at level 20 and you're a superhero. Something happens, some sort of cataclysm where their powers are getting stripped, and then every level players have got to choose what they're discarding.
Yes. Yep.
Fuck, that's good.
Right? Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, and I really want to do it soon because it's such a good concept. And when it hit me, I was like, oh, like that could be really good.
I think we can do something with that.
Yeah, I'll run a game with that for sure.
You know,
let's do it.
But start at level 20 and just work backwards. Yeah. And the last encounter is them as level 1s.
Yeah.
Facing against a big bad.
I mean,
obviously you've got to maintain the balance of the encounters.
Of course. Yeah.
But yeah, I like that concept as a story of kind of going, right, now you've just pinged, you've just leveled, as it were. Yeah. What are you getting rid of?
Yep. Yeah.
And at high levels, it'll be easy to do.
Yeah, because you have so much to pick from.
You've got so much to do. But
imagine like going from 5 to 4, from like 4 to 3. Like at that point, it's such small things that can make such a big difference. And actually, Sam is on point. She's talking about they lose parts of themselves, memories. Like that is a route you could take. It could be more of a psychological, physical loss or something. But I love the idea of at the end of the campaign, the heroes, the party, looking back and being like, that's where we've come this far. Not like, oh, we've made it. It's the end of the campaign, we're level 20, but like we were that. And now, so it's something I'm working on. It's going to be fun. It's going to be good.
No, definitely keep me posted on how that goes.
Definitely will. Yeah.
No, but that is a fantastic idea. I'd play the shit out of that game.
Well, I'll have you play it then. Yeah. I'll run it for you. Sure.
Yeah, I'll definitely play it. It won't be 5e though.
It'll be probably Level Up or Void Runner.
Nah. I mean, I can live with that. I live with that. I mean, it's still the same base, but
that, or I have been playing with another system in my head, trying to get my head wrapped around it. I don't know if I'll use it or not, though. We'll see.
So, that last few minutes sort of thing, like speaking of systems, that we decided we were going to kind of look into system design. And the last time we talked about this, we were talking about what sort of steps we would need to kind of create a system. And I've added a few. Okay. I've added a few because we basically started out with vibe, intent, mechanics, and setting.
Okay.
But the things I've added are presentation. Mm-hmm. What the format will look like and all that. RP is the man to go to for that. Yeah. The other thing is publishing, is how we would want to release it into the world, whether we'd want to kickstart it or whether we'd just want to do like a small itch.io. And then the last thing, obviously, is license that we would need to definitely brush up on.
Yeah.
I ain't got a fucking clue.
No, that's fair. I mean, like, I can talk license out my ass. Like, I sound like I know what I'm talking about, but actually, like, adhering to one with a game, building a system. Yeah, no, I don't have a clue.
No, I can't even pretend to know what I'm talking about. But going back to intent, I was having a look at some of the more system agnostic, less setting agnostic games, and there's quite a few. There is quite a few that we can kind of pull from and learn from. But what I did find is that there aren't many that were designed, or at least were released, as setting agnostic. Really? A lot of them came from an established setting. Like, for example, the Cypher system, which is what I immediately go to when I think of a setting agnostic setting. That obviously started out as Numenera. And then they pulled the mechanics from Numenera and created the Cypher system. Forged in the Dark came from Blades in the Dark. Basic role-playing by Chaosium came from RuneQuest. The only ones, I mean, I know GURPS was started out as a generic thing. Yeah. And I believe Sagas, which is quite a new one.
I've heard Sagas. Yeah.
I mean, it's in the name. It's setting agnostic.
Yeah.
Setting and genre agnostic system. So,
but like, that's so brilliant. I that makes me so happy. Like, that
I love the acronym.
So good.
I think it's fantastic.
Yeah, it's brilliant. Like,
so that is by OKSDM on Threads. I definitely need to check that out. But yeah, I just found it quite interesting that a lot of these sort of setting agnostic games didn't necessarily start out that way.
Yeah, well, it'd be easier. Like, I mean, just even talk about us talking. It's like, oh, well, we can take that and take that, or we can take that and take that. It is so much easier to take something that is good and then, like, I mean, RP talked about that. Like, oh, I can do that better, and then ripping it and doing something different. I would love to see something that was originally brought out as like, no, there's not really a setting for this. That's going to be hard to do though, because most people are like, okay, then what do I fucking play with this? Because a lot of people, do like the pre-written whatever. But I think that would be one of those situations where when you release the system, there's already multiple settings that like you could pick and choose from if you want. They don't have to go with the game, but it's an option,
Yeah, but I think it adds a level of tangibility as well.
Yeah.
You know, because if you're designing a system just to be generic, I
Mhm.
think it's harder to kind of focus.
Yeah.
Where if you're designing a system, okay, we're doing a fantasy system. Okay, so these are the skills that we're going to probably need. These are what we can focus on. And then you kind of extrapolate the information from there.
You know, what'd be interesting though is if someone built a generic system, right, a toolkit system, but then teamed up with like 4 or 5 artists to write worlds and stories, but all in their own like genre setting. That way, it is an example of how that system could fit with multiple different stories or settings.
That I like. That I do like. I mean, I think we know enough people in the design community where we could kind of go, all right, you know, this is what we want to do, and I want you to write something for it. You know, and you can really. I mean, to be honest, that's kind of what RP's done in a way, because he's created songs and sagas, and then he's done a game jam, and kind of gone, there you go, here's the system, break it, do what you want with it, and sell it as your own.
Yeah.
Which,
except instead of coming out with a setting like he did in the first place, it would be completely raw at first.
Yeah,
where
completely
there is no
raw.
setting. And Connell's right. Actually, a lot of the systems nowadays have. I'm thinking of Void Runner, right? Now that is sci-fi genre, right? But they go into subgenre chapters within it where it's like, hey, you want to run horror? This is how you can do this. Oh, hey, you want to run like space opera? You can do it like that. So he is right about that. There's ways that you can have different sheets, chapters that kind of
Cypher system does it quite like in the core rulebook. It says, okay, this is a superhero game. This is a Western game. This is a horror. This is you know. So it does kind of work. And you know, I think if we are gonna build a setting agnostic game, I think maybe perhaps building a setting alongside just to kind of have something to test.
Yeah. And I still like the idea of it being more than one setting from more than one person, because if we are doing the setting, we're coming out with a system with the setting. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but in my sense, my point is that we're going to need to test it.
Oh,
so
yeah,
we will have to build our own setting.
Absolutely. I just don't think it should be like released with it. You know what I mean?
No, of course not. We're releasing it as a completely agnostic thing. So keep an eye on that, because we are going to be updating bit by bit. We've already got ideas. We've been given ideas from our viewers. We've got some ideas that we're going to bring to the table as well. And bit by bit, we're not in a rush to get this done. No,
not even slightly. And it's actually really funny because I've been working on this private project on the side that could pair with this. We'll see. We'll talk about it differently. Connell, so multi-genre default setting, like fantasy, cyberpunk. That's actually, I create a lot of good worlds and stories, just not systems. And that is one of the ones that I love, is modern fantasy. But
But anyway, I do believe that is about all we've got time for today.
Ooh, you know what that means?
What does that mean?
That means I get to eat.
You do get to eat, and I get to sleep.
That is important as well.
That is hugely important. But I would just want to say thank you to everyone who's joined us in the chat for keeping us company.
You guys are
I want
great.
to say thank you to you, Atlas, for joining me this evening. If you wanted to tell people whereabouts they can find you on the internet.
Yeah, I'm on the basics. Instagram, TikTok, Threads, Atlas like the Titan, Ursa like the bear. Easy breezy. Come find me. Come hang out.
Okay, as for me, you can find me behind most of what we do on social media at Too Legit to Crit on Blue Sky. You can also find me at Natural Juan on Threads and on Mastodon. I'm also in our Facebook group. And also you can catch up with everything we do at toolegit2crit.uk, and you can interact with us, questions at toolegit2crit.uk. And if you like what we do and you want to see more, give us a like, a rating, subscribe, or even just tell your friends about us. We love this community. We want to see it grow, and we want to grow with it. And most importantly of all, I want to say thank you to everyone who has taken time out of their busy day to listen to us waffle on about tabletop role-playing games. Thank you very much, and good night.